Islam Makhachev versus Ian Garry. What do you think about this fight?
Oh, I'm going with Islam because he has a wrestling background, and it's hard to beat wrestlers. So Islam, he may just be one of the greatest fighters in the world right now. It's me and maybe him. So I encourage him to keep going.
Wow. Oh, wow.
They say 15th of August.
Why are you so confident about beating Islam?
You've not seen me sparked and conscious in the UFC. I've seen Islam sparked and conscious in the UFC. You've not seen me dominate in this sport. They know I'm the trickiest opponent for them. I know how to stop the takedown.
This is #1 bull.
If he doesn't respect me, then he's in for the shock of his life. When I beat him, I'm the best welterweight on the planet.
Bottom line about Islam is no one's able to get away from him. He's the scariest. He gets a hold of you, you're Phil. He's very good standing up now. His submissions are insane. If Ian Garry can get off sharp combinations early, he could stun him. He's fast as everything's like,
I think Ian's going to make it competitive, but if he gets taken down, he won't get back up.
If you don't risk it, or you don't even believe in it, you'll never get there. So when you sit down and say to me, how do I not get overwhelmed? How do I not feel the pressure? I dreamt all this into reality. I've manifested everything that I've done in my career to be the point it is. And anything that's not gone perfectly has pushed me and driven me to get better. This is the fight I've been begging for. This is the fight I've deserved, I've earned, against the toughest task. There is no tougher challenge. You cannot name me a fighter right now in recent history who has tried to come up and competed against this level of champion, a two-weight world champion, on a record-setting, unbeaten streak in the UFC, the #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. It's the toughest challenge for a challenger to become the champion ever. And I thrive off that excitement.
Ian Machado Garry is not just talking about beating Islam Makhachev. He is going a step further and calling the exact round he plans to finish the fight. That kind of boldness turns heads, but Daniel Cormier is not impressed. In fact, Cormier sees it as a potential trap. Cormier's point is simple. Walking into the octagon against the #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet with that kind of ego can backfire badly. Confidence is one thing, but when you start scheduling knockouts against a man like Makhachev, you are playing a very risky game. Cormier knows what it feels like to stand across from elite competition, and he wants Garry to understand that the octagon has a way of humbling even the most self-assured fighters. The question is not whether Garry believes in himself, it is whether that belief is built on something real.
Islam Makhachev and his upcoming fight.
Islam's going to fight against Ian Garry next, right? I assume that Islam's going to win that one just because of his wrestling pedigree. To be able to dictate if the fight's going to be standing or on the ground, it's a great gift. Another guy with a strong team behind him, strong faith. I'm not rooting for anyone in that fight because I don't know either one of those guys on a personal level, but I'm assuming that Islam's going to win. That's my prediction.
Can Islam beat Garry? Can Garry beat Islam? Are you guys sold enough on Ian Garry that he can go out and become the champion of the world? Do you believe that in your heart? Yeah, I think that guy can beat Islam. Okay, tell me how he's going to beat him. Is Ian Garry going to try to revive Conor and Khabib and do it with himself through Islam? It's very possible. Ian Garry believes he's going to beat Islam Makhachev. It's a big deal, and I'm going to make a prediction for you. This fight's going to be huge. I want you to watch this. Stay with me.
Never fought someone as long and tall as me. He's not fought someone as fast as me. I'm gonna bounce him on his skull. I'm gonna take his title. I'm gonna take his throne.
I just love that. He does have the length. Ian does a very good job of controlling distance. Islam does a better job, I believe, of taking away distance. But you got a training camp. You got some time. Ian Garry, in theory, he's right. If he can learn to keep you at the end of their punches. Islam wishes that Ian was even taller and even longer and had even more ability. Because as a wrestler, it just gives him more to get under. Taking a tall guy down is so much easier. Just because there's more body to grab. That's going to be an interesting trade. You watch Ian, you think he's just brash, confident, Irish man. He's better than he thinks he is. Rakhmonov won the contest as a whole, but Ian took his O away. Ian showed that wrestling wasn't impenetrable. I do believe that Ian is going to convince the world of what I already know. He can win this fight.
Our brother in arms is lost. He's lost. There's no getting him back. You know? I bet you Ian Garry once upon a time had a friendship group of Irish lads from Dublin, dude. You know? And every now and then his name gets brought up in conversation and they go, we miss him. You know? May he rest in peace, dude. The old Ian's gone. He's turned his back on the boys.
The build-up to Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Garry has taken on a life of its own. Everywhere you look, someone in the MMA world has an opinion. Former champions, veteran coaches, longtime analysts, they are all stepping forward with their takes, and the predictions are all over the place. One group genuinely believes Garry has what it takes to pull off something the sport has rarely seen, a true underdog victory over a dominant, well-rounded champion. The other group looks at Makhachev's complete skill set and simply cannot find a weakness big enough for Garry to exploit. Both sides make strong cases, and that is exactly what makes this fight so fascinating to break down. This is not a one-sided conversation. The biggest names in mixed martial arts are engaged, they are fired up, and they are not holding back their thoughts, heading into what many are already calling one of the most important lightweight title fights in recent memory.
Yeah, I think that obviously, I mean, that's true. Like from a perspective of like just the truth. I mean, he's not the type of guy that's just going to KO you in the first round. You know what I mean? Like it's just not really what he does, because he's really smart. Like he's very defensively sound. He plays really long. I think the leg kicks and like the oblique kicks and the head kicks and just the frame difference between them means that Ian Garry's probably going to play. He always plays the matador. Like he's never playing the bull. He's never like being aggressive and like trying to hunt you down. He like builds into a fight, and then in round 3, 4, and 5, that's when he gets a little bit more aggressive. That's where he like rocks people, like even Bilal and Prates or whatever. He had big moments against them in round 3, 4, and 5. I mean, Shavkat Rakhmonov, he gets his back in the 5th round. So I feel like if there is a finish from Ian Garry, it probably is in the 4th or 5th. So it's not ridiculous. I don't think it's ridiculous to say that. I guess that's what I'll say. It's not ridiculous to say that, but I also feel like, come on, bro, you're not finishing Islam Makhachev. Like, come on, bro. If you win this shit, it's by a decision. Like, let's be fucking real. Same with Islam. I mean, I think Islam has more finishing potential overall. Like, early on, he could snap up a Das. He's really fucking dangerous. Like, I think Islam overall is a more likely to finish this fight. But I feel like if this gets to round 3, 4, and 5, it's probably going to be a decision. Like, I think this will be a very close fight. Both of those camps have said the same thing. So I lean towards a decision. If you're asking me what I think is going to happen, I don't think it's going to be a finish from Ian Garry.
How good do you think is Ian Garry when you look at the rest of the division?
Dude, I mean, shit. Like, it's pretty hard to say he's not the -- guy. Like, besides Islam, right? Like, he beat Prates. He had a really good fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Like, had more finishing type moments in that fight. You know, beat MVP. Like, he's beat all types of weird star matchups as well, which I think is really cool to see. Like, obviously,
Chael Sonnen has a specific idea about how Ian Machado Garry can gain the upper hand before the fight even starts. According to Sonnen, Garry needs to turn this entire experience into a mental war. Every press conference, every interview, every face-off, Sonnen believes those moments should be used as weapons. The goal would be to get inside Makhachev's head, build tension, and make the fight feel bigger and more personal than it already is. Sonnen thinks the psychological side of this matchup could be just as important as what happens inside the cage. That said, Sonnen is not convinced Garry will actually go down that road. He doubts the Irishman will commit to a full-scale mind game. People have started drawing comparisons between Garry and Conor McGregor, pointing to the swagger, the Irish roots, the way he carries himself. Sonnen is not ready to go there yet. He respects the comparison on the surface, but believes Garry still has a long way to go before those parallels hold any real weight.
It's just Islam is the mark of excellence in MMA. You know, you're talking about just a pro's pro who, even when weight cuts don't go right, he still finds ways to win. But for the most part, operates like a pro. You know, I think engages in trash talk without going insane. I'll put it that way, which I personally prefer. You know, everyone's going to be a little bit different, but I kind of prefer that. But just in terms of like excellence, you know, can he wrestle quite as well as Khabib? Maybe not, but pretty close. And he can strike a whole lot better. He has fought, you know, very, very tough guys. I didn't know how 170 was going to go, and then it's just been what it's been. You know, I just think very, very, very highly, not only of his ability and his well-roundedness and experience, but his ability to, you know, remain focused on the goal at all times. So many of these guys, they get fat out of camp, they get in trouble, they lose focus, they want to do something else, the fire dies. And these guys from Abdul Manap's camp, man, they just stay grounded and keep hammering and keep hammering. And that's why they keep winning. And Islam is, you know, one of the very best to ever do it. A remarkable fighter, and, you know, can go and do a numbered event in the Middle East, can do one in stateside, and I think that is a degree of its own kind of value. Hugely important for that organization and the sport generally.
Totally. Yeah, I think, and a big thing now is literally starting with this fight, you can promote every Islam Makhachev fight as historic beyond measure, given this winning streak. I mean,
That's right.
Tied with Anderson Silva, you could say this is a fighter who's never done anything beyond the split like it is.
Chael Sonnen is not letting the mental game conversation overshadow the physical reality of this fight. He is quick to point out that once that octagon door shuts, all the trash talk and press conference moments mean absolutely nothing. What matters then is execution, and Sonnen believes the single biggest challenge Garry faces is stopping Makhachev's takedowns. If Garry cannot defend the wrestling, the fight becomes one-sided in a hurry, but stopping the takedowns is only half of it. Sonnen also stresses that Garry needs to match Makhachev's pace across all 5 rounds. The champion does not fade. He does not have bad rounds. He keeps pushing at the same relentless level from the opening minute to the final bell, and that consistency alone breaks fighters down. Sonnen believes that if Garry can handle both of those challenges, the grappling and the pace, the fight opens up and becomes genuinely competitive. Sonnen also brings up Sean O'Malley as a name worth studying. O'Malley has managed to make things difficult for opponents who rely heavily on the takedown, and Sonnen thinks there are lessons in that footage that could be useful for Gary's camp.
This guy could not handle the heat. When I first started going at Ian Garry, there could have been a funny way that he twisted it with some good banter. No. What did he do? Just like his brother Sean always knew, dude. He hid away from the negativity, dude. Couldn't handle the heat. Missing your granddad's funeral? Oh, was that a real man thing to do? Not even a text, lad. I'm missing something here. World run by Layla, more like. In reference to the women should run the world. Layla should run the world, if anything.
Seems like the next title fight is going to be Islam and Ian Garry, if the rumors materialize, it will be at UFC 330 in Philly. Are we trying to make a turnaround to get on that card and be on the same card as the title fight? And if it does happen, who do you think wins?
Even if they weren't on the card, I don't care who's main eventing that card. As long as I'm not injured or anything like that, I obviously not looking past Buckley, not looking past May 9th. I want to be on that card. You know, it's my dream to fight in Philly, especially on a stage as big as this. Because who knows when they're going to come back again? You know, it's been since 2019 was the last time they were here, so I don't know when they'll be back. And as far as who's going to win that fight, Islam is going to run through Ian. Simple as that. He's gonna sub him for sure.
Chael Sonnen has spent real time studying Sean O'Malley's fighting style, and something about it keeps catching his attention. O'Malley has a way of shutting down takedown attempts that Sonnen finds genuinely difficult to break down. Even after watching O'Malley's fights multiple times, Sonnen admits he cannot fully explain what makes it work so effectively. There is something in the timing, the positioning, the instincts, and Sonnen believes that if Ian Machado Garry can figure out that formula and apply it to his own game, his chances against Islam Makhachev go up significantly. Sonnen thinks Garry has a real shot here, not a fantasy shot, but a legitimate one, especially if he can keep the fight standing, stuff the takedowns consistently, and maintain a high output through all 5 rounds. Luke Thomas adds another layer to the conversation. He is not dismissing Garry at all. Thomas points out that winning a title in a new weight class is already one of the hardest things a fighter can do, and defending it is even harder. He respects Garry's toughness and his defensive awareness, but Thomas also acknowledges that Makhachev's offense does not have a single dimension. It comes from every direction, and that makes him incredibly hard to prepare for. The challenge for Garry is not just surviving one area of Makhachev's game, it is surviving all of them, round after round. Mayhem Miller brings a different kind of energy to the discussion. He is genuinely excited about the stylistic matchup. Miller looks at Makhachev and sees a complete grappler, powerful, technically sharp, with submission skills that have finished elite competition. But Miller also looks at Garry's physical frame and his overall skill set and believes Makhachev will not have an easy night. Miller thinks Garry's reach, his ability to switch stances, and his footwork could cause real problems. Keeping Makhachev uncomfortable and off rhythm might be the key. If Garry can keep moving, keep switching, and avoid getting pinned against the fence, Miller sees a path. Bedtime MMA focuses on the intelligence factor in this matchup. He praises Garry's activity level, the way he adjusts mid-fight, and his ability to read opponents and find the cracks in their game. That fight IQ has been on display consistently throughout Garry's run in the UFC. On the other side, Makhachev brings dominant grappling, an an airtight defensive system, and his own sharp in-fight awareness. Bedtime MMA compares the mental side of both fighters to the level of George St. Pierre, a high compliment, and frames this as a genuine clash between the two smartest fighters in the lightweight division right now. Former lightweight champion Charles Oliveira weighs in with a perspective rooted in experience. Oliveira points to Makhachev's discipline as the quality that separates him from almost everyone else. Makhachev does not get distracted. He does not abandon the game plan. He executes with patience and precision, and when fighters try to make it messy or force him into a street fight, he simply recalibrates and goes back to doing what works. Oliveira believes that mental discipline, combined with Makhachev's technical wrestling and submission arsenal, makes him one of the most difficult fighters in UFC history to actually beat. The praise keeps stacking up on Makhachev's side, and that raises the central question hanging over this entire fight. Can Ian Machado Garry do something that almost no one has been able to do? Can he solve the puzzle, survive the grappling, outlast the pace, and walk out of that octagon as the new lightweight champion of the world? Or does Makhachev's championship experience and all-around dominance simply prove to be too much to overcome?